Hi, teacher friends. I just wanted to share another tool that's sort of found its way into my life recently. This one's called Whiteboard.fi. Um, and I know we, especially as math teachers, spend a lot of time doing activities in class where we will present the students with a problem that we'd like for them to solve. They have whiteboards at their desks, they work the problem out, and then they hold that whiteboard up for us to see. It gives us an opportunity to immediately check their understanding. Now, when you're in an online environment, maybe teaching via Google Meet, that becomes a little bit more difficult to do, especially if you've got several students in a class. Even if they have access to a whiteboard, depending on what kind of cameras they have or whatever, how they hold those things up in front of those cameras, it can just honestly be a nightmare to see what students are trying to show you in Google Meet. Google Meet also doesn't have its own whiteboard feature that you can use either. So students can't present their answers to you either. This really gives a very, very simple way of doing exactly what you might be doing in class, only doing it in an online environment. One of the great things about Whiteboard.fi, as opposed to other things like Jamboard, is that students really do not, there is nothing to do really ahead of time. Um, you don't need student accounts set up. You don't even need teacher accounts set up. It's as simple as this. So as the teacher, you'll go into whiteboard.fi and you'll click on new class. You'll type your name in. Obviously, I've done this a couple of times, so my name's already sort of there. And then you'll just pick your settings. You can even enable a waiting room lobby, so you have control over who can come in and give you their whiteboard answers. If for some strange reason extra people want to come in and do whiteboard math. Um, some other settings that you have the opportunity for, you can enable image upload for students, although this is not something that I would suggest if students do not have really, really strong internet connections, lots of bandwidth. Um, a couple of other options you've got for simple mode, which does help with the bandwidth issue, um, or enable slow mode. Slow mode disables their automatic saving functionality. So if they're in slow mode, unless something else happens, you're not going to be able to see what they have written on their whiteboard. So the one that I really like, the way that I like to do this is to hit both of these, to go ahead and choose for simple mode and enable slow mode for students. And when I do that, I'm saving bandwidth, but they have the opportunity to, as soon as they've finished their answer, go ahead and send that answer to me so it'll pop up and I can see it. So let's go ahead and create that new class. Now here's where the magic happens. Now we've got a class code, and you could project this in your Google Meet or wherever. If students kind of have a little bit of a heads up, they could already be at whiteboard.fi. And if they're already there, the only part of this I actually have to type in is the room code, which is E97HB, which I'm typing into my phone right now. I just click join class. It wants my name. I guess that's okay. And then I click on join whiteboard class, and very quickly you're going to see my whiteboard that just popped up here. So maybe I, as the teacher, say, okay, students, I'd like for you to solve this two-step equation. 2x plus 1 equals 6. So go ahead and show me all of your work. So I, as a student, am over here solving my problem, trying to remember to show all my work. And I am finished now, and I am ready to go ahead and show it to my teacher. So I'm going to touch the Save Whiteboard key, and all of a sudden there's my work showing up on the teacher's computer. So now as a teacher, I can take a look at this and I can say, okay, yeah, that looks good. I can come over here and I can click on this. I can make it bigger so I can see it a little bit better. There are some things that I can do. If I want to save this answer, I can. Maybe I want to say, okay, this is great. Go ahead and erase it and be ready for the next question. I can do that. If the student has been nice enough to send me something I really didn't want to see, I can always kick the student, not literally, but I can kick their whiteboard off of my screen. Um, or if maybe there's just something that they have done on here that I need to show them really quickly, I can uh, put something on my own whiteboard and then push my teacher whiteboard to the student at this point. So I've got lots of options there. So it's something to just sort of play around with, and it's one way to solve a common problem that we have when we're teaching remotely.